Cake. It's a delicious symbol of celebration. But our Pilgrim fathers would disagree. They frowned upon the food, drink, and merrymaking of celebrations. Holiday cakes were forbidden. They were too sweet and festive for days that were supposed to be holy. According to legend, it took what seems an awfully unfestive federal holiday to get cake out of the doghouse: Election Day. Did cake give rise to democracy?
Who better to sift through the evidence than Matt Lewis, the dessert archaeologist?
A dessert archaeologist basically has a weird obsession with history and food and how they kind of come together. I guess you could say cake almost begins with a beginning of time. But really, the history books state it at least started with the Egyptians. Their cake was like a bread, sweetened with a little bit of honey and maybe some fruits, probably some nuts. It really isn't until about the 1600s that cake kind of came into being as we know it now, with the frosting top.
This early version of cake was English fruit cake, dry and dense, and just too festive, according to one Oliver Cromwell, already known for banning Christmas because of its frivolity and waste.
No more cake.
He included cake in his smear campaign against everything joyful, and cake ends up being strictly forbidden.
So the Pilgrims are coming over around the same time as this whole Oliver Cromwell business is going on. The Pilgrims started to make up these holidays to celebrate. They were non-religious holidays, but they were holidays all the same to them.
The short list of holidays celebrated by the Puritan Pilgrims were college graduation day, training day for the military, Thanksgiving, and Election Day.
Boring.
Not a lot to choose from. So they made the most of Election Day.
Election Day back then was very different than what Election Day is today. Election Day was a full day of partying. It was people dancing in the streets, singing from the rafters, church sermons, people just really having a great time. Very, very different than just kind of going into a polling place, dropping your vote, and then leaving.
No one threw a better Election Day bash than Hartford, Connecticut. The wealthy, fashionable capital was one of the first to elect its own state governor. And on Election Day, it was the place to be. You could even say it took the cake.
Festivities included food, drink, and most importantly, cake. The promise of a single indulgent slice brought voters out in droves.
Over the years, election cakes morphed into Independence cake, Democratic tea cake, federal cake, and Franklin gingerbread. But after the Civil War, cake lost its power to sway voters. Elections became more local, and large patriotic gatherings disappeared. We may never know just how many elections were won or lost based on cake. But one thing's for sure, cake was a delicious influence back in the day.